I'd like to welcome everybody to our virtual 23rd annual campaign for Areivim. I'm going to give everyone a glimpse of what we do, speaking to staff, alumni, actually to somebody who's actually by us right now. We're going to have Rabbi Ben-Zion Schaefer of Shmuz fame, par excellent mechanech. I understand that he wrote a great book on Shalom Bayis, of which my children read it, and he was kind enough to give us a few words, a Devar Torah, on some chinuch, and I hope you're going to enjoy this small little tour of Areivim.
I would like to share with you one of the great principles of success in life. If you find me an individual who succeeded in any area in life, be it business, be it the arts, be it writing, certainly in terms of learning or avodas Hashem, if you find me a successful person, I guarantee they had this principle firmly entrenched in their essence. And if they didn't, find me the most talented, most gifted person in the world. If they don't have this principle firmly entrenched, I almost guarantee they won't become a fraction of what they could have been. And to share with you this principle, let me begin with the Gemara. The Gemara tells us at the end of our days, each of us stands in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and we answer for what we became, what we did with our time. And the Gemara tells us that each person is asked the single question: why didn't you become a great individual? Why didn't you become accomplished? I gave you a Torah, why weren't you osik in it? And the Gemara tells us an ani v'ashir walks in, and each one they ask, why didn't you become great? Why didn't you learn the Torah? Why didn't you become the person you could have been? And the poor man says, me? What do you want from me? I had to work 14 hours a day, 6 days a week. I barely could eke out a living. You wanted me to become a great person? What do you want from me? And they say to him in answer, they say, Klum ani ayisu yosem Hillel. You were no more poor than was Hillel. And then the Gemara goes on to tell us an event in the life of Hillel. When Hillel was already a zaken, he would learn every day in the Beis Medrash. Every day he would earn his living by selling kindling wood, little twigs. He would sell door to door. Half of that money he would use to pay his household expenses. Half of that money he would use to pay the Shomer Beis Medrash. In those days, the Beis Medrash was out in the woods. Every day he would earn that money, and every day he would pay the Shomer Beis Medrash the fee to enter. One day, it was Erev Shabbos. He didn't have time to sell the wood. Didn't have time to earn his tarpik, that small coin. He comes to the guard watching the gate and says, "Sir, every day I pay. Every day I'm glad to pay, but today it was Erev Shabbos, I didn't have time to earn the keep, and please let me in." The guard looks at him and says, "No, please, no, please, no." Says Hillel, "I can't leave Divrei L'Kim Chaim, I can't leave the living words of Hashem's Torah." He goes to the side of the building, climbs up, and listens to the shir from the Aruba from the skylight. Now it's not clear what happened. Either he fell asleep, or he lost consciousness, but it began snowing. And in the morning, Shabbos morning, Shmaya Avatalion come into the Beis Medrash, and they see that it's dark. They look up into the skylight, and they see the image of a man. Someone quick, get him down, get him down. And they bring him down and says Shmaya the words, Roy L'chal V'Shabbos, light a fire, quick, warm up some water, resuscitate him. And when the poor man walks in to Yom Hadin, they say, no more poor were you than Hillel. If Hillel could have succeeded, so too could have you. And I heard my Rebbe, the Rishiva Zatzal, ask a very penetrating question on this Gemara. And that is, each individual is given different talents, different abilities, and each individual is given a different life setting. I have my life setting, you have yours. I'm not asked to be you, you're not asked to be me. Why then is the poor man compared to Hillel? What difference does it make? One time in history there was a singular giant called Hillel. And that's not the life setting of this poor man. That wasn't his talent set, that wasn't his abilities. Why is a poor man asked to be like Hillel? And the answer to this question is a perspective on life. And to share that with you, let me begin with an observation. In parts of Asia, till this day, much of the heavy lifting on that continent is done by the elephant. All day long you could see the trainer guiding the elephant through the forest, through the woods, and all day long the elephant trudges. On its back will be heavy loads, and its trunk will be logs. All day long the elephant schleps throughout the jungle. At night, the trainer ties the elephant to a peg, and the elephant remains there the entire night. Now if you were looking at this scene, you might have the following question. The elephant is huge. The peg is not that deep. The rope is not that strong. The question you might ask is, why doesn't the elephant just walk away, go forage, go into the jungle? And the answer is the elephant can't. Why? Because when the elephant's born, it weighs about 250 pounds, And the first day, the trainer ties that baby elephant to a peg in the ground, and the baby elephant tries to escape, but it can't. And tries for a day, it tries for a week, it tries for a month, and then eventually the baby elephant learns a lesson. The peg is too deep, the rope is too strong, and that lesson remains fixed in its mind even when it reaches full maturation. When the elephant weighs 14,000 pounds, when it can plow through a cement wall like it's paper, it remains rooted to that spot because in its limited understanding, it can't escape. The peg is too deep, the rope is too strong. And I believe that's a fine mushel for many, many people. And many people you'll meet throughout life create these glass ceilings, these limiting beliefs. I can't do it. What do you want from me? You want me to be a great person? You want me to accomplish? You want me to be somebody? I'm just a plain, regular Joe. And I firmly believe that if you believe that about yourself, you will live up to exactly that self-prophecy. And many people have tremendous abilities, tremendous talents, but they keep themselves in check because they have these glass ceilings, these limiting beliefs. And every once in a while you hear about someone who shatters such a limiting belief. I'll share with you one example from competitive sports. For almost 100 years, there was a record in competitive sports that was considered unbreakable. No human being ever ran a mile in under 4 minutes. Runner after runner tried, country after country sent their best, but it became an almost unbudgeable fact. No human being could do it. Gunga Haag in 1914 ran the mile in 4 minutes and 10 seconds. Roger Bannister later tried. Gunga Haag tried again. Runner after runner tried. Eventually, it became set at 4 minutes and 6 seconds. One Australian fella, John Landy, ran the mile in 4 minutes and 2 seconds 4 times in a row. And he said these words, "It's a brick wall, it can't be penetrated." And it became an accepted medical fact. No human being can do it. Man creates too much wind resistance, his skeletal structure is all wrong. It became an accepted fact that no human being possibly could run the mile in under 4 minutes. May 5th, 1954, Roger Bannister ran the mile in under 4 minutes. He shattered that myth, broke the glass. Interestingly enough, 37 days later, John Landy, the Australian fella, 4 minutes and 2 seconds, brick wall, ran the mile faster than did Roger Bannister. Odder still, by the end of that year, 27 other runners had run the mile in under 4 minutes. But here was the oddest part. Nothing changed. They didn't change diet, they didn't change running shoes, they didn't change technique. The only thing that changed was Roger Bannister took something from the realm of impossible and he proved it could be done. And once he shattered that myth, and then 27 other runners, then now any decent college track star runs a mile under 4 minutes. But it took one human being to shatter that myth and to break through that glass ceiling. And my Rebbe, Shiva Zatzal, explained this Gemara exactly that way. The poor man is not asked, why didn't you become Hillel? The poor man is asked a much more penetrating question. There was a man in your generation who shattered the myth. A man as poor as you, may be poorer, and yet he became what he could be. Why didn't you put him up on your icon? Why didn't you put him up on your mantle and say, if he could do it, so too could I? He should have been your hero. He should have been the person you looked up to. He shattered the myth. Once he proved it could be done, now it could be done for anyone. And I believe this is one of the great principles of success in life. You have to have lofty goals and you have to have heroes. People you look up to, people you admire, people who walk the same earth, breathe the same air as you, and yet reach stellar heights. And you say to yourself, if he could do it, so too could I. Not can I become him. I'm not asked to become him, but as he reached his potential, so too could I reach mine. And when you do that, you shatter the myth, you break through those limiting beliefs, and you reach your potential. And I believe this is a very apt topic to talk about when we speak about Areivim. For many years now, I've admired Rabbi Gluck, both from a distance and up close. I can't tell you how many times I've asked them for referrals, where to send this person to, where to send that person to. But what I want to share with you is the organization that he runs. You see, the demand on an individual to excel, to become, is something that they implant in a person, but in a very different way. When you take a youth who's floundering, typically people coddle him, people create a bubble in which he's comfortable and safe. And what Areivim does is the exact opposite. They let him experience life in a very real way, taking on responsibility. And if you join their programs, you're not coddled, but you are allowed to succeed. And it doesn't work for everyone, but for those who work, excel tremendously. And you see, the great principle is you can't give self-confidence as a pill. You can't instill it as something that you take from the outside and put on a person. And you'll compliment them from today till tomorrow. You're not going to build confidence. The only thing that builds self-esteem, the only thing that builds self-confidence is in the traffic of life when you're successful. And when you're challenged and you succeed, when you're challenged and you succeed, and you actually demand of yourself and you actually become someone, suddenly you realize, I can do it. Suddenly you realize I'm not married to that limited version of me. Suddenly you recognize you have strength, you have talent, you have abilities, and I believe that's something that Areivim invests in tremendously and allows young people to excel in that way, because they put them in an environment where they can succeed, and then they give them the tools to succeed, but it's the responsibility of the individual to make them themselves into what they'll be. And I think it's an organization that's doing tremendous work and really allowing people to reach their potential. I hope you'll help them. I hope you'll benefit from them. And I, as everyone else, hope for their success and a continued atzlacha.
When we started with Areivim, about 18 years ago, give or take, there was really nothing in the Jewish community, especially in Cleveland, to help deal with and work with children who were at risk.
It's an emotional-based organization. Probably never heard that before in that sense.
The main thrust behind it is Rabbi Gluck. Areivim really serves as a last place to go for kids and young adults that have no place else.
Areivim is a place that I mamish hold a special place in my heart. It's been many occasions, occurrences that I got to spend time there and benefit from the direction and the guidance of Rabbi Gluck and many others.
Areivim can give you the goals that you're missing, the connection that you're missing. It's everything that you need in order to succeed.
They take each case on like it is their own children, like it is their own family.
It's a loving place. It's a place where we kind of take the place of their father and mother. We're just there for them, and we give them all the emotional and sometimes physical support they need to get where they need to go.
He helped me in a lot of ways. Every aspect of life, his help helped me shape up who I am today.
Knowing how to understand people and communicate is most of a person's success in his life. And Rabbi Gluck teaches people how to be successful in their communications with others.
He has houses in Hilburn where he sets up boys to stay and works with them to try to help them, if they can't be at home for whatever reason, to develop certain life skills to get them started in life.
They don't do it for money. They don't do it for cover. They do it because it's the right thing to do.
I can attest it's all real, it's all good. He's not going on big vacations. He's not driving fancy cars. Everyone who's watching this knows that as well.
We have a reputation for one niche, I guess we would say, like 1.5 niches. So one thing is our end product. We don't make them less unhealthy. We have a reputation of making them healthy. Number two is, and somebody actually called me, he says, I don't know who you are, but somebody told me that you have a reputation for taking the most complex, unsolvable problems, breaking them into small, manageable ones, and putting the people back together again.
I didn't really know what I was looking for. I just didn't like where I was in Israel. It didn't really work for me with my personality, with who I was back then. So I was looking for something different, something like a change that would help me shape up my life and, maybe a positive change that will help me.
Anyone who's not going to emerge as a healthy adult spouse parent on his own, and anyone that I believe that we could create behavior modification, we will attempt to work with that person.
It shows that no matter where you are, what you're doing, you can always find success in where you really are.
The end product is anyone who's emotionally balanced, who is healthy, and understands the most foundational areas of healthy living that many teens don't, and that is they understand what a reciprocal relationship is, they understand going out of the comfort zone is a necessity.
My job is when we do have guys in the residence or with alumni that we've had that have left the residences already from the past several years, I meet with them. It's occasional, either when they call for it or when I just want to stay in touch with them. and try to help them get to, whatever next stage of life is supposed to be for them.
There's a certain element that we're very good, intuitively, we could lock into what a kid needs. We also have the ability to have a healthy rhythm in a house that the only people living there are not really healthy people. And yet we create a healthy rhythm.
Areivim helps a lot with shaping you up as a person. They assist you with whatever you want to do in life. They help you with it, and they make sure that they put you on the right path to get there.
I guess I would say that the most meaningful part of the job is when you kind of, like, you're talking to somebody and you finally recognize that not only are you seeing a certain skill or a certain confidence that they have that they didn't have at all when they first came on, but that they recognize it in themselves. And they see that Areivim has given them that. They're like, wow, this is amazing. I didn't think I'd ever be able to do this kind of thing.
I am forced to grow by the fact that I'm telling people to grow, and by the fact that they consider me a role model, and I can't go home to my wife and treat her in a way I just screamed at another guy. But that's really what it is. We like to do good work, and we're fortunate to be able to do it.
We are so thankful for Areivim, and we're so thankful for what Areivim has done.
Hey everyone, I just want to take a minute to express my gratitude to the Wolf family, Rabbi Gluck and Areivim. Baruch Hashem, I was zoche, and thankfully I got the help that I needed as a teenager through Naftali and Ruti Wolf and Areivim in order to get me back on the proper path, in order to get me in a positive way of living. And I was really lucky to go on to 2 trips with Areivim and Naftali to Israel, which gave me incredible inspiration and completely changed my life. I was placed in yeshiva from then, and since then I basically have never left Eretz Yisrael. I've been zocha to get married and raise a family here, all with the help and support of the Wolf family and Areivim. I'm forever indebted to Naftali and Ruti Wolf, to Rabbi Gluck, and to Areivim. Thank you so much.
Hashem hu Elokim, Hashem hu Elokim, Hashem hu Elokim, Einon milvado. Chevra, there's mamish no pain in the world which can make us forget Yerushalayim. Oh, there's no joy in the world which can make us forget Yerushalayim. For 2,000 years, wherever we prayed, and we prayed all the time, we directed our thoughts, our mind, and our feet to Yerushalayim. If you'd stop a little Yidel on the way to the gas chambers and ask him, what are you thinking about? Oh, he would answer, I am thinking about Yerushalayim. I'm on my way to Yerushalayim. Bayamim ha'hem bazman hazeh, Hanukkah's approaching. If you would ask an IDF soldier, a chayal, what are you thinking about? He would answer, I am thinking about Yerushalayim. I'm on my way to Yerushalayim. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. I'm on my way to Yerushalayim. So let's mamash all sing together. Daven for the best of Klal Yisrael. So Yemesh Kavachech Yerushalayim. Tishkach, tishkach, tishkach yemini. Yemesh Kavachech Yerushalayim. Oy tishkach, tishkach, tishkach yemini. Ababoyim elai ale Yerushalayim. Aharav oishtim echasi Goyim la yales Yerushalayim Al roish simchasi Goyim la yales la yales Yerushalayim Al roish simchasi Areish, Areish, simchasi. We say Shema, Shema Yisrael. Know that there is but one God above. When you feel pain, when you rejoice, and know how He longs to hear your voice. Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Imeshkavachech Yerushalayim Tishkach Yemini Tidbak Leshoini Lewechi Ki Ewim Lo Eskerechi Lo Yawaleh Sidu Shalayim Arawai Simchasi Woyim Lo Yawaleh Sidu Shalayim Arawai Simchasi Dini da 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 Na di ro 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 Mo ra ra ro 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 Dini da 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 di da 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 Abba Sheba Shemayim Oy 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 Abba 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 Melech HaOlam Melech 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 Abba Shakulam Shuv Shuv Ata Soleach Ragelecha Uboreach Abba Oy Tate Abba 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 Melech HaOlam Melech, 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 Abba Shel Kulam. Shuv, 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 Ata Soleach, Ragilecha Uboreach Abba. Chavi, here's a brand new song, Mamish, coming out this week. Yaakov Avinu says, Hatzileni miyad achi miyad Esav. Mamish, let's dive in together. Hatzileni, Abba Hatzileni, miyad achi, miyad Esav. Hatzileni, Abba Hatzileni, miyad achi, miyad.
I'd like to thank everybody for joining us. I hope you appreciated this, had an idea of the work we do. We're going to go back after this and continue to do great work. I'd like to thank all those that helped and that have donated and have volunteered. Certainly, if you haven't yet, please, whether donating, it's not over after the campaign, and volunteering, certainly, we'd like to start again. And like I say, every year since we've been doing our virtual dinner, we do not have a real dinner. If you would like, I would gladly take anybody out for breakfast, lunch, or supper. I personally prefer breakfast to lunch. If it's okay, please just give me a ring, and it's on the house. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. You should have a wonderful Motzei Shabbos and a great week.
Hashem Shemamish, bring the third Beis Hamikdash. Mashiach should come, and we should know of no more tsar, and we should say together, Areivim v'shamna shir shir chadash, u'v'nana wale, v'shamna shir shir chadash, u'v'nana ale. Thank you all.